All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Talent Show, where we're spotlighting the people, ideas, and innovation here at TTEC that help us grow together. And today's conversation, we're recognizing Neurodiversity Awareness Month. And this conversation is really all about you. It's about understanding different ways of thinking, how we all bring different perspectives to the workplace, and tapping into your strengths, finding the tools that help you do your best work. We've partnered with our employee resource group, TTEC Minds, to bring today's guest, which I'm personally very excited about. And he's going to help us walk away with some practical tips that we can use to reflect and play to our strengths. So let's welcome James Bednar, our Vice President of Product Management. He has deep expertise in AI and is someone who's going to share his personal insight as someone with ADHD. Welcome, James. How are you today?
Fantastic. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. As our producers and I were brainstorming today, it was just immediately like, let's talk to James. He's the AI expert, one of the many great AI experts here at TTEC. And I've never had anybody respond so quickly to be like, yes, I'll come to talk about this topic today. So thank you, James, for answering and responding in record time. It's a really important conversation, and we're glad you're here for it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's I couldn't help but say yes to it. Just in, the work we do with AI here at TTEC, and then just my own personal exploration of it. I don't know that I ever intended to think about how these tools could help me manage, just my own life better. Uh, but it turns out I came across a lot of tips that I found really helped me in what I do every day. So absolutely love to share.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're going to learn a lot. So everyone get out your notebooks, your notes, whatever it is that you need, your AI tool that takes notes for you, and come along for the ride. We'd also love to hear from you. So please drop in the chat where you're joining us from. We love to see the global audience and learn from you along the way as well. So thank you again. So James, let's start with, what has your journey been? What do you do here at TTEC? Let us know.
Yeah, so I've been at TTEC a few years now, although I've been really a lifer in the CX space. So at TTEC today, I lead technology and innovation, some of our proprietary technology, some of our partner solutions. Um, but my goal has always been, how do we help improve what we do every day, what we do for our clients every day with technology? And if you go back a few years ago, that was just different tools, or CRM, or automation and RPA, or knowledge-based technology. It was always sort of, there was always this common thread of technology in my history in the space. And now with AI, it's sort of, we're into the fourth or maybe fifth wave of kind of transformation in our space.
Yeah, that's so exciting. You must have seen so many different transformations over the years and how to leverage technology. So, just over to the audience real quick. Just want to say hi to Dorina joining us from South Africa, Mo joining us from the Philippines. We also have Todd and Tara. So we've got quite a group joining us from around the world to hear some more of these insights here today. So, James, since we're spotlighting Neurodiversity Awareness Month, what is some of your perspectives on how we can leverage technology to better support neurodiverse individuals in the workplace? Like, what are some of the tools that you think are going to be really helpful to help with all of us that are tuning in very closely and listening to what you have to say?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. Now, I can't speak for everybody. You look, everyone, I think everyone is different. Everyone has maybe different areas that they think it can help with. I'm glad to share what's worked and helped for me with ADHD or ADD is, one of my big challenges is organization. And I think what's really come out as being helpful for me is leveraging AI as sort of a way for me to prioritize, or a way to give me a little bit of perspective around organization. Um, I may not show it, but I tend to be somebody that's overwhelmed initially, especially with overwhelmed around sort of starting new tasks, right? Where do we start? I tend to get a lot of anxiety around this sort of, how do you even get started? And I've, it's become really part of my rhythm now that I'll go back and forth and I'll have a conversation with AI, whether that's, Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude. I feel like I don't know, I pay more for AI subscriptions than I do for television at home these days. Um, but it kind of starts with that dialogue. Where should I start? How should I think about this? Maybe help me build an outline to frame my thinking. And I feel like that's really been a tremendous sort of unlock for me in being able to get started. It's almost like it's easy to jump in when there's a framework of a plan, as opposed to needing to start with a blank sheet of paper, right? It's almost too overwhelming. So I think that's been a really big one for me. I think another really important area, um, communication, and this is a funny one. And for everyone that's joining, we had a big laugh kind of around this one. I tend to be really wordy. I tend to write emails that are way too long, or way too detailed. And to some extent, I feel like I still need to do it to get the thought out of my own head. But what I've started doing, and even before summaries in Outlook became really common, pump it through AI. Here's the executive brief for JV's 2-page email, and I'm going to stick it at the top. Here's your TLDR. Too long, didn't read. I'll make it really easy for you. Um, but just my own personality, I still have to get all those thoughts out somewhere. So I continue to do that. But I feel like people on the other side of my emails tend to appreciate that I'm making it, yeah, succinct and to the point.
I love it. You're like, we get the bottom line up front here for everybody, and then you can still get the rest of your point out too. And I 100% agree. Sometimes projects are really overwhelming, so being able to turn to AI for that assist to help get unstuck and move forward. I just recently had a situation like that. I actually connected with two of our team members. One of them's listening, Tara, and was like, this is kind of overwhelming. So I talked with the team members and then also went into AI, and it really helped, like you said, calm that anxiety and help get something that was seemingly really big, kind of bite-size it down into doable chunks and help get started. So yeah, it's a great tool. Our team is on the communications side, so we're always talking about that blank page, that it really helps to get things started too. So I love that those are a couple of the ways that you're using them, and I'll turn to it more often to get my Rebecca Long emails more TLDR like you too, James. So that's a great idea. We also have so many people joining us from Azerbaijan. We have Knowledge Base is a great base. We have people from Morocco joining us. So thank you everyone for tuning in from wherever you are in the world. And James, as you were just talking about, productivity could look different to everyone. What are some of the ways that you've maybe turned to AI to help you organize your days and help you be more productive?
Yeah, and I think maybe this is sort of a step too far for a lot of people, but for those of you that might be a little bit techie on the call, these new tools like Claude Cowork, tools like OpenClaw, um, this idea that you now have these always on AI agents, I found that really good for keeping me on task. While we've all sort of set reminders on our phones or set reminders kind of on Outlook, it becomes really easy to either swipe them away, or I'm going to pause the alarm and keep doing what I'm doing. But I found that AI is just really good at pestering you, or pestering me specifically. Hey, don't forget about this one. Hey, get back to this one. So this idea of helping me refocus on kind of the top priorities. It's easy to sort of um, control a little bit of the distraction, especially boy, in our space in the CX industry, there are no lack of fires. There's always a fire. There's always something that could be done somewhere to fix a problem, and that's something that I've historically always gravitated to. Um, and it's all important stuff, but how do you just balance this workload? I found it being a really good to be a buddy in that sense. Here's some of the things I've got to do. Um, where should I start? What maybe is going to take longer than I expect it to take? Um, how should I order things? So things like time boxing, and it's been really good. I think you're going to start to see a lot more applications. I think there's already some apps in this space where it just helps people sort of manage, juggle priorities, keep on track, keep on task is one that's been really, really helpful for me.
Thank you so much for sharing the difference, because I'm with you. I feel like I can snooze the alerts or, oh, yeah, I got that reminder, but there's something different about what was it? Open
Open clause, an interesting one. I actually have it so it sends me text messages. And for whatever reason, the text message ding in my brain is different from an alarm. I guess, having a mobile phone in my hand for the past whatever many years, when it dings, I tend to look at it. Now I've got my little AI agent pinging me about something. So it sort of comes top of mind. It's a little bit more impactful than, a buzzer or something else, just an alarm going off.
Yeah, I appreciate how you said, like, everyone, it might be different for everyone, and this is what has come to work for you. And a big part of that is exploring, I think, and discovering, like, what is that tool that could work best for me. And it might mean that you have to, put yourself out there, try a few different things, maybe get a more of a subscription to an AI than maybe you had planned previously. Like you said, I think I have more subscriptions to AI as well than I do to the streaming services. So I laughed at that. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. And we have some people in the audience that are saying they haven't tried it yet. They'll definitely check it out. And working well is a comfort that CX feel when they need us. So thank you so much, team, for sharing in the team AI in the comments how you're feeling today and what's resonating with you. And speaking of our audience, we want to turn it over to a question for all of you. What is one way that you've used AI to support your work and your daily organization and help you play to your own strengths? We'd love to hear from you, so please drop it in the chat, and we'll come back to it throughout the rest of today's show as well. I know, like we said, one of the ways earlier that I use it is to help me get unstuck and help me bounce ideas so that I can take that next step. And, James, as you were saying earlier, this is how it helps you play to your neurodiverse strength. For me, I have math dyslexia, so it really helps me when things are a little confusing or disorganized in my brain, to go into the Excel file and see my Copilot assist buddy there has made all the difference to my own anxiety as well. So, and hey, this is a safe space to share all of that with everybody, right?
And I will say the unstuck. I think the unstuck is a huge one, and I think I've seen a lot of people really benefit from that. Whether you're working on a presentation or a report, or internally we had a big meeting on goals and goal setting for 2026, and that's an area that I tend to have maybe an idea in my mind, and going back and forth with AI kind of helps me think a little bit more broadly sometimes. And it's been a godsend. Or working on a slide or a presentation where you can't quite come up with the right wording and you're sort of stuck, and just sometimes getting the right words or some suggestions. Like one of my common prompts is like, this is what I'm looking to say. Give me 3 like really impactful ways for how to say it. Um, like if you went through my chat GPT history, you'd see that 1,000 times. And it's, again, a little bit about getting unstuck, a little bit about helping, to be a more effective communicator. Um, it's just been great.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how I did it before then.
right. Yeah, before, yeah. And that's resonating with Monique in the chat. She also said that AI has helped her to communicate more clearly with a better tone and cleaner grammar. And so, yes, it seems like something that the assist is helping us all to feel really, in the end, more confident, more calm as well. So I love that other people, it allows autonomy to keep time and handle the customer relation, whatever the team. So people are finding ways to help on the CX side of things
Oh
as well.
and we're absolutely seeing it drive a lot of benefits for our associates on the CX side as well. It's a challenging job, and it's, things like Agent Assist definitely are seeing big benefits for a lot of people.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And hey, speaking of prompts, it's the topic of I don't know, maybe it will be on a magazine cover one of these days, but it's the topic of the year, prompts. And so I know you just mentioned the prompt that you found to be effective for you. Can you help us understand, for those of us that are maybe continuing to explore how to better refine our prompts, what is a prompt? Let's maybe start with the basics. What is a prompt? How do we talk to AI? And then maybe what are some ways that you can help us think about prompts without, overthinkers of the world, overthinking the prompts and getting stuck on just entering the prompt itself?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to think of it is a prompt is somewhere in between, something you're like a conversation back and forth, and an instruction, right? So with an AI, it's essentially the prompt you start with is, what do I want you to do? What am I looking for you to provide? But it often goes a lot further from that. Like, what is the context? What is the domain? What is more specific about what I'm asking you to do? And I think, um, I don't know that I would call prompting engineering. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. But there's definitely nuance in really being good at prompting to get what you're looking for. And I think, oh gosh, if you went back 25 years or so, when search engines were becoming really popular, right? Yahoo and all those other ones. And you had to get really good at your keywords to find what you were really looking for. I think you're sort of seeing that next wave with AI, right? Everyone needs to be confident in communicating with AI, which is the prompt, to kind of get what they're looking for. And it's not that there's a right or wrong, but I think what you put in directly impacts what you get out. And the better you are with prompting and being really clear, or maybe learning some tips and tricks around how to do it well, the better your results are. So the quicker you get to what you were hoping to get, kind of out of AI.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I know you mentioned, that even our own questioning could also expose maybe a bias. And it's like, oh, you want a positive answer? We'll lean towards a positive answer. You're asking in the prompt kind of something negative. I'm going to lean a little that way. So, how do we help, like you said, create that better context and kind of unbiased prompt, if
Yeah,
you will?
I think that's exactly it. Is It's really easy for sometimes your unconscious biases even to make their way into how you prompt. And I think you're starting, I'll say, taking a step back, there's a lot of focus from the AI labs around fixing what's called like the sycophancy problem, meaning AI is going to tell you exactly what you want, and it's going to tell you your idea is great even if it's not great, and you end up going down this sort of snowball of after a couple of conversations turns, you're like the smartest, most genius person on earth, and this is the best idea. That you fall into this trap where AI is sort of leaning very positive. And there's a lot of reasons why that happens when you think about like how AI models are trained and the data that's used. And for the geeks on the call, like when you have post-training and reinforcement learning, where people are actually saying, hey, this is good and this is bad, or I like this and I don't like this. People tend to like when they get a positive response versus a negative response. And so this is the way AI has been built. But the danger in this is even subtle bias in your prompts will impact the answers in a pretty material way. Meaning, if you ask, why is A better than B? It's going to tell you why A is better than B, even if A is not better than B in a lot of cases. So just something as subtle as how you frame a comparison or how you frame a problem will very much influence kind of the response you're going to get from AI. And in some cases, that can be really problematic.
Thank you for sharing that. And just going back into the chat for a minute, Todd is sharing that he's been building a few agents to help research trends and surface insights tied to organizations. I've got a few others in the mix as well. I have been having a lot of fun experimenting with it. And I also love what Juan Jose shared, which is I love AI to study. I can make all the stupid questions. And I'm with you. We can ask the questions that maybe we don't want to ask other people, but we can ask AI to help us in the workplace for those questions as well. We also have Srinivas joining us from India. And Todd also shares that he uses AI to help refine and improve his own prompts as well. Yes, I think I've asked AI sometimes, like, what prompts do you think I should be asking you for this as well? And I think that's really cool.
And it's pretty great. And it's pretty crazy that oftentimes you get some really good suggestions. I think just back to the learning thing, I feel like that's been really like my guilty pleasure with AI. When I'm interested in things, I tend to be really, really obsessive about learning everything about that. And I think like that's often been my superpower. And at the same time, it's been a real problem, right? When I'm really interested in things I probably shouldn't be interested in, or topics that aren't going to help, around the house.
Rabbit hole.
Help the laundry get done, but I'm going to spend 3 hours going down a rabbit hole. But in terms of helping me learn and exploring ideas and topics, it's been great. I mean, if for some of you folks that may have like a voice AI on your phone, or my kids hate this, but I have conversations with AI in the car. We were heading down. I'll give you a fun story. We were heading down to, there's a Bell Labs building that's really famous. I live in New Jersey, and it's sort of this epic building where like the transistor was invented, TCP/IP was invented, Unix was invented, like for it's like a mecca for geeks, right? And I'm trying to explain this to my kids who don't care one bit about this. But yeah, I'm having this conversation with AI about like, how their iPad wouldn't work without this building, how their PlayStation wouldn't work without this building, how they couldn't be text messaging with their friends if this building didn't exist. So it's been great in just exploring ideas and learning, and even having fun, just to explore.
Hey, I think that's like the maybe new way to road trip, and it's more interactive than people just watching TV on their iPad in the backseat or something. So, James, I think you're onto something here. Learning and discussion.
By the way, you can play I Spy with AI in a car, and it's really fun.
Okay, see everyone, I said take out your notebooks, however you take notes. James is going to bring it today with all sorts of different ideas to help you. And what I love about what you just said too is that part is around connection as well. And just a super side note, thank you so much to our TTEC Minds employee resource group, creating ways for all of us to connect with each other. They've got some great things coming up here in April, and including a webinar. So head to Mosaic if you're part of the TTEC team. Come and learn more about all of the things happening this month. Big shout out to Kayla and Susie, who are really helping to drive as volunteers this group forward. So, and they've been helping us to bring sensory rooms to our different sites around the globe so that people can have a space to go and find that calmness in the day as well. So we really appreciate that marrying of technology with connection here at TTEC as well. So James, we're almost done, and I know you've got some products to manage, so and some clients to talk to. So we want to make sure to get you back to the rest of your day as well. Let's end with one. We love to end the talent show with one piece of advice, although this whole talent show has been a ton of advice for people. What's something, if, we seem to have people who love using AI on the episode here with us today. What if there are some people who aren't really quite sure how to get started, or maybe even have started, but are ready to like elevate their game? What's some advice that you would give them to walk away with today?
Oh, gosh, I think the only one is experiment, try it. It's not, you're not going to break anything. You can ask it whatever you'd like. You can put in whatever you'd like, as long as do it responsibly. Don't put your private information in an AI, or certainly don't go dumping corporate information, into your own AI, but experiment, try, play with it, see what works for you. The next time you're struggling with a problem or a challenge, maybe it's on the personal side or even on the business side, give it a shot, give it a try, have a little bit of a dialogue back and forth. I think the more we all have been using it, the more comfortable we're getting, the more we can understand where the boundaries are, and things like that. But I think everyone's finding unique ways to use this. It's whatever worked for technology in the past, tear it up, throw it out. This is a whole new playbook. And I think nobody's got the perfect answer.
Yeah, I think just like you said, myself having been a part of a few technology transformations, I remember back in the day when Facebook first started, a colleague of mine was telling all of his HR friends that Facebook isn't something to kind of brush off. It is this social media thing is the future. And so we have to stay on top of things. So I think your message today of discovering, experimenting, exploring helps us to understand that really that is kind of the way forward in our work lives. Is there's going to be constant change, constant things to keep up with. And if we can leverage the tools to help us manage through that anxiety and help us to have some calm and organization in our days, then why the heck not? Let's do it. So James, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you. Like I said, I'm personally really excited that you are here to join us. I see you in our emails and in our other videos. And so it's awesome to have that connection with you here today. So thank you again. And we hope you have a really great rest of your week.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have one more thing that we'd love to share with you. We have some amazing jobs on ttechjobs.com. So if you're looking for a job, come and see if one's available in your region, your country, where you're located. We've got a lot of great jobs. We wanted to highlight one here today for you. It is here in Tempe, Arizona, with our award-winning team. It is a business-to-business outbound sales role. So it's an awesome opportunity for you to work Monday through Friday in an environment where if you can grow, there is opportunity to become a sales manager as well. So really a great opportunity to get in on the ground up and grow your role here at TTEC alongside an amazing team in Tempe. It's also a hybrid role. So eventually it will move to a mix of on-site and remote as well, which is another really cool thing about this job. So if you have 1 year experience in customer service and you really have the heart to help small businesses, we'd love to hear from you. Our team will be dropping this link along with some other cool jobs in the chat for you as well. As always, thank you to you for joining us, for sharing your comments and feedback in the chat. It all helps us to become better. We really appreciate James joining us today to help us celebrate and recognize how we can all bring our unique strengths to the table and using tools like AI to help us really shine. So thank you to you and to everyone for joining us here today. And one last thank you again to TTEC Minds for all that they do to help us create a vibrant culture here at TTEC. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time.